and welcome once again to another fine episode of Bill Has Opinions, the Christmas Problem with a Drinking Show. We are here to celebrate the holidays. I am Laura Lavoie, and I am joined, as always, by Mr. Bill Perkins, who has opinions. How are you, Bill?
I'm mostly okay. I was remembering something on the way over here tonight. I was thinking about how last year I gave you a present, which you regifted on Boxing Day. Yeah, last Christmas I gave you my heart.
Did I give away your heart?
Yeah, and you gave it away the next day, and it disappointed me.
God damn it. God damn it. No, you actually had me going for a second. I'm like, wait, what did I do? Did I actually do that? No, I gave away your heart. Well, now you're going to give it to someone else.
Someone special, yeah. I've got it all boxed up and ready to give to somebody special this year. So that'll be special. I mean, it'll be like kind of gross though, because I'll be like, what?
First of all, it's a used heart. Second of all,
it's a possum heart. And
Exactly. But
it was mine, you know.
It was in fact yours. It's just a heart. Yeah, I mean, I guess it was my heart, but really any heart that belongs to you is in fact your heart.
Right, exactly. I mean, yeah, once you've taken it from the possum, it's yours.
That is correct. That is correct. But a year-old heart, that's a year-old heart that was regifted once seems really in poor taste.
I mean, you know, it has to go to the right person. That's why we say someone special. Somebody who will be like, oh, yeah. Mm.
Maybe the possum would like the heart.
Well, it's too late for that. I don't think you do it a whole lot of good anymore.
Fair enough. So,
for our audience at home, sorry, no possums were hurt in the making of this joke.
Fair enough. The joke that is literally only funny to us, but that's okay. We're glad you're here, all you viewer. So, what do you? Since we already sound drunk, because we often are, what are you drinking, Bill?
I'm drinking Cold Mountain from Highland Brewing, which finally is on tap at the Purple Onion. They always tend to get it on tap late in the season because they're waiting to tap out some other thing, and you know because of the way things are right now, business is slower, so it took them a little longer to tap out the Duck Rabbit and free up a keg, and so they just put it on. I want to say Sunday, maybe, I don't remember exactly, but anyhow, it was on tap around Sunday, and that means I'm drinking it tonight. And as previously stated in our holiday beer special, it changes every year, and this year it is kind of more hazelnutty and spicy, like allspice and hazelnut is what its flavor profile is this year.
All right.
Last night when I had it, I was like, I don't know if I love it, but it's actually better tonight. So sometimes it matters a little bit what you've already had that day in your mouth, you know, and you're like, nah, your palate gets off. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it does make a difference. So I assume that's all you're drinking tonight, that you have multiple.
I just poured several Cold Mountains, and that's that, yes.
I can only imagine your setup that you have like 6 glasses of Cold Mountain just waiting for you.
It was like 3/4 glasses. So that's like, what is that? That's like a glass and I don't know. It's like two and a half real glasses, I think, right?
That's fair. That's fine. That's a decent amount of beer. I found a beer. Wait, let's see if y'all can. The glare is bad, but it is the last minute gift idea from Steady Hand Brewing, which is here in Atlanta apparently. But it is. I found it because I went to the local beer. Well, I went to the beer store across the street, which doesn't have the greatest selection, but it's the closest beer store. And it was one of only 3 Christmas beers they had, so I bought them all.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been a weird year for bottle shops carrying a lot of Christmas beers. I've had like really sparse choices.
Yeah, but this one it is stout brewed with coffee, cinnamon, cacao, pink peppercorn, and vanilla. And I have to say, it's pretty tasty.
Pink peppercorn.
Pink peppercorn, which I think, if I recall correctly, from watching a lot of Food Network. Pink peppercorn has a little bit more of a fruity flavor than like black peppercorn. So, which plays well with flavors.
All right.
But then I actually have my current favorite holiday beer. Let's see if we can get this to focus.
The old-fashioned.
This is the old-fashioned holiday from Bell's. I cannot get enough of this stuff right now. It's high octane though, but I really, really like it.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. But this show is not about holiday beers. We already did that one.
No.
So
I could segue by telling you that one of my favorite Christmas holiday songs is about beer. It's this little song by Bob and Doug McKenzie about the 12 Days of Christmas.
It is a classic, and if we wouldn't get pulled from YouTube or Facebook, I would absolutely play it, but we probably would get censored. So
that's how I have to show also.
Also that. And for anyone who doesn't know, although I think all of our viewers are in our approximate age range because that's kind of how we've advertised this show, that we don't pull the younger demographics yet. But Bob and Doug McKenzie, of course, was an SCTV skit, and it came about when they were told, because they moved to Canada, they were told that they needed to have more Canadian content. There's the Canadian content law, and they literally looked at the lawyers that were in the room saying they had to have more Canadian content and said, "What do you want us to do? Sit around, wear toques, and drink beer?" And they're like, "That'll do nicely."
That'll do.
So that's how we got Bob and Doug McKenzie.
So it was just basically to be as stereotypically Canadian as we can think, and it worked.
Yep. That's exactly what happened. But the 12 Days of Christmas by Bob and Doug McKenzie is fantastic. I mean, some of those words I can't sing the original anymore because all I hear in my head is,
5 golden toques.
Yes, and 2 turtlenecks and a beer.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. All right, so we have segued. What we are talking about is music. So Bill, I know for a fact, because we've had this conversation a lot, you have a lot of opinions about Christmas music. So just give us the gist of them.
Well, it's funny. I'm kind of like really weird about it because I don't love, I hate Christmas music to start too early. Like when they play it the day after Halloween, I'm like, that's too early. It's the day after Halloween. We still got another holiday in between here. And actually, as we actually know some songs about Thanksgiving. They're not many, but there's a few. And, I'm just like, I'm not ready for that yet. Don't get started. And I don't do it until about the second week of December. Then I finally okay, now I'm in the mood to hear some Christmas tunage. And so then, but I do like hearing Christmas tunes. I'm very particular about them. That's the thing I'll say, which is, big surprise.
Really?
There's so it's funny because you have these stations that play nonstop Christmas music starting November 1st. And
right.
The sad thing is, like all commercial radio stations, they don't mix it up very well, right? Like there are probably 4,000 songs written about Christmas alone. Okay. And they managed to play 8 of them.
Yes.
Over. And here's the thing. Here's what kills me is half of it is the fucking Christmas song, aka Chestnuts on an Open Fire. By 7 different artists. Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's like they'll play it, and 4 songs later they'll play it by a different artist. And I'm like, dude, you just played it. I don't care if you played it by Nat King Cole and now it's by Karen Carpenter. I still just heard it. And it's one of my least favorite Christmas songs ever. I hate that song. I just want to strangle somebody when I hear that. I will flip the station. I really hate it. That's like the worst of the traditional type Christmas songs. That's the worst one.
Really, and we have worse music coming up later in the show, so save some of them. But
that's what I'm going to talk about right now that I hate is Chestnuts. Fucking Chestnuts, man. I want to blow my brains out when I hear it. It's the worst. I turn the channel. I don't listen to it. But so that being said, I mean, I hate that particular song. All 50,000 versions of it. I hate them. But then there's some things that every Christmas, like Christmas is Christmas until I hear this song, right? And so, yeah, I've got my things that I absolutely have to hear. And then we'll get into this later, but I also, and I feel this way about music in general, but when a song is written, I feel like there's at some point, it might not be the original version, but at some point there will come a version that will trump all of the versions. It'll be the penultimate version of that song. And at that point, everyone else can stop bothering. Like that song has been, and everyone else can just like, why bother making another version? And so like one of those to me, one of those songs I like to hear every Christmas, but I only like one version is Santa Baby by Eartha Kitt. Only by Eartha Kitt. I don't want to hear it by Madonna or anybody else. You know, and Madonna's just sounds like karaoke compared to Eartha Kitt's to me. It's like she was trying. She did exactly the same thing with it. Like, oh, I'm trying to be sexy, and I'm singing Santa Baby, and I'm like, yeah, but you're a hack. You're a stupid hack, and all you're doing is the same thing that was already done. Like, this doesn't go anywhere. And I'm sorry, but I feel that way in general about Madonna. I feel like she's kind of a rip-off artist. Like she just does whatever Bjork did 4 years ago and tries to take credit for it.
What is Madonna? I mean, actually, I'm very curious. What has Madonna been up to lately? Like, I haven't seen her around much.
She got plastic surgery the other day, I think. She looks horrible.
Oh, all right.
I mean, conversely, she might look 30 years younger, but in a strange alien kind of way, you know.
Right. That's another show of opinions, though, because that's just something I don't get. Like,
yeah.
Like, I am the age I am. Like, I don't need to look 30 years younger than I am right now. Plus, then I would look 15, and I don't want to do that. 15 was awkward.
I'll shave my beard if I want to look younger, you know? Actually 2 years ago, I finally got to the age where when I shave my beard, I don't necessarily look like 10 years younger anymore. Now I look like I'm in my 30s. You know?
Exactly. But so, no, I'm with you on the repetitiveness of Christmas, and I'm a person that I love Christmas music, love it, love it, love it. I would listen to it before Thanksgiving, but I try to give myself some restraint, and I actually made a whole Thanksgiving playlist of songs that were at least evocative of Thanksgiving, just so I had something seasonal to listen to, because I want to listen to something seasonal, but. Right. I also don't want to listen to Christmas music outside of the season because that's part of what makes it special. You know, like if I listen to it in May, it's not special anymore.
Yeah.
So I actually make playlists. And I listen to some Spotify so I can avoid the commercial radio station version where they just have, you know, the same stuff.
Right. And I've got my own Spotify Christmas playlist also, which I call, and I'm sure I'm one of the 48,000 people who calls it this, but I call it Wintry Mix because I don't know, because that's, to me, that's funny, haha. But speaking of, we got a Wintry Mix coming this way tonight.
Oh,
yeah, the first Wintry Mix of the year. Yeah. So, but my Wintry Mix, you asked me, you know, so my Wintry Mix is it's a lot. I guess there's a lot of novelty songs. That's one of the things. I'm not a traditionalist really, so there's a lot of novelty songs, and there's a lot of melancholy Christmas songs about somebody longing for something they're not going to get this Christmas. And that's a thing. That's a theme that I kind of like. Even though, you know, it's funny. I don't get sad at Christmas really. You know, I've never had that kind of sad Christmas that. But I understand that it's a time of year. I mean, well, you've got the winter depression anyway because the sun's gone and all that. And then you've got people who can't be with their families, or maybe something happened and they don't have a family anymore or whatever, and that makes them sad. So I know that there's like a holiday depression on top of the seasonal depression. I don't actually have that, but I do like the songs that evoke it. I don't know. That's just the goth sensibilities in me, I guess. You know, just, hey, I want to feel sad for a minute about something I'm not really sad about.
Right. I mean, I think there's value in that. There are a lot of sad Christmas songs that, you know, they're just quality songs. They're just good songs.
The one I don't know what the name of the song is, but it's like bells will be ringing on a sad, you know.
No. I can't remember who originally did that song. Maybe our resident online researchers and librarians can tell us. Because the version I'm most familiar with, it was from the very special Christmas CDs that were all released in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And the version I'm familiar with is Bon Jovi, because he did a version of it.
Yeah, that's not the one I listened to.
I doubt it would be. Like, I can't imagine you being like, I'm just going to bust out the Bon Jovi.
Or some other country artist does a version of it that I hear the most on the radio, maybe. Yeah, and and then of course Dolly's Hard Candy Christmas is kind of sad, melancholy, right?
Which is one of my all-time favorites.
That's a good song too, right? And Blue Christmas by Elvis is another one I have to hear this time of year, and it doesn't really, it's funny. That's one that actually. So the subject matter is sad, but it's juxtaposed the way that the Elvis version goes. It's juxtaposed with this sort of weird. So he's got the Jordanaires in the background doing this this kind of Hawaiian thing or something,
right?
Woo thing all the way through it, which kind of makes it fun. You know what I mean? Like. And also the way he said, because he does this thing where he breaks like, so when he does that, it's kind of a fun song, even though it's about missing somebody over Christmas, right?
It's funny because I also have opinions about that song, and my opinions about that song are, I don't like Elvis Presley. I appreciate Elvis Presley. I understand why he's important to music, but I don't like his music. But I forget that every year because I don't listen to it any other time of year. I forget that every year until Christmas, when next thing you know, I'm listening to the radio and they're playing that song once every 80 minutes because they're playing all of the songs. So, yeah, I like other versions of the song. I think it's a fine song. I just don't like Elvis Presley.
So, him and Porky Pig are the only two versions I like. And I will say, while we're on the subject of Elvis, I also like Santa Claus is Back in Town by Elvis, which is the second most played Elvis Christmas tune. Also featured, by the way, in the Kurt Russell film Christmas Chronicles.
Yes.
Yes. The first one, which is a sequel now, and Kurt Russell, the best Santa Claus ever, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Although I will say, have you watched the sequel yet?
Not yet. No, I have to. I want to rewatch the first one, and I haven't. We haven't really gotten to Christmas movies yet, so there's a thing.
Gotcha. We rewatched the first one, then we watched the second one, and I have opinions about that, but I will wait until you watch it.
All right, we'll talk about that next week or whatever week we. I don't know. Next week.
Next week is our general holiday extravaganza.
Okay, we'll talk about it then. I'll watch it between now and then.
All right. You're committed now. All right. So before we get into, since we're already getting into favorite and least favorite songs, let's do our station break real quick.
Okay.
And for a station break this week, we don't have anybody specific to pimp out to you because we know it's 10 shopping days until Christmas. So we want to make sure that you all shop local because you don't have to worry about people mailing things to you. Go to your local stores. Safely, socially distance, wear your mask, and but shop local. Local businesses need your help, and you need gifts for the holidays.
Small local businesses, especially. Like we don't mean the closest Target.
Correct. Yes, that is fair. Yes, small businesses. You need
something on Main Street. Go find something in a small store, and support those people because they're gonna fold if. You're going to be sad that your town doesn't have anything a year from now. It's going to be boarded up if you don't. That's one of the bad things about this pandemic. The small business loans haven't really worked. They all went to mega churches and billionaires for some reason. And
for some reason.
So
I wonder what that reason was.
I don't have a clue possibly have caused that. But anyway, your local small businesses need your help. So if you want there to be something on Main Street next year, go buy something this week from your local small businesses. That's what I got to say about that. And if you're like me and someone's been stealing your mail for the last 3 days, you won't have to deal with that foolishness either. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but we got some porch pirates, except for they're not porch pirates because we live a half mile from the mailbox. So I guess that makes us an easy target, right? It's only the small packages that fit in the mailbox, obviously, but because they had to bring the bigger ones to the house. But
right.
Anywho,
that's frustrating.
Yeah, it's crappy. I know at least 2 days this week my mail went missing.
Well, Amy's comment was not about mail, but it was actually about your prediction for businesses. It's true, but it's true. So support local businesses.
Yeah.
All right.
If they sell a Possum Heart, buy one.
That's true. Do that. All right, folks. Let's get into the nitty gritty though, because I know Bill's got some opinions. All right, Bill, I'm going to start you out with what are the best? I'm going to say you're the best, but you know how I feel about superlatives.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what are your favorites? What are the best Christmas songs?
All right, I already said Blue Christmas. That's one of my favorites. After that, White Christmas by the Platters. I really like that version. It's got highs and it's got lows. It's got a bass and it's got a falsetto. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got all the things that work for me.
Everything you want.
It's got the things I like. I like all the songs about Christmas that have a color in front of Christmas. If you
Black Christmas, pink Christmas, red Christmas.
Let's see. After that, okay. So I mentioned I really like the novelty songs. We talked about Bob and Doug. I like Cheech and Chong, Santa Claus and His Old Lady. I always listen to that one. I love the hell out of that thing. I've actually got that pretty much memorized. Like if I had a friend who could do it with me, I could sit here and riff the whole thing. I've listened to it so many times. I had the Dr. Demento Christmas record years ago, and every song on that thing, I knew it. Oh yeah, Chipmunks, the Chipmunk song. I still want a hula hoop. I'm still waiting. I love that shit. Oh, the hippopotamus. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. That's probably my favorite novelty song of all the novelty songs. That one, it wasn't the one I grew up with the Chipmunk song like that. I've had that album since I was 5. And I've known the Bob and Doug McKenzie one since I was about 7 or 8 because I remember my dad listening to it once and I was like, "What the hell is this?" But it's kind of funny because they're saying 12 Days of Christmas, but they're not saying the real things. It's funny,
right? That's funny.
And then, but then it took me several, I don't know, I don't think I heard the hippopotamus one until I was in my 20s, maybe, but it just stuck. Like I just, because hippopotamuses are cute and funny looking and
deadly.
They are. But then but then you think about the idea of a hippopotamus for Christmas. It's just a silly idea, and it's and so I love that song, and it's a great song. What else? I used to like Christmas at Ground Zero, but that one got old. Like of all the novelty songs, that one wore. Maybe it's because the threat of, it's because the threat of nuclear war went away and then it came back, and now I don't find it funny anymore. And then also because we started calling the area where the World Trade Center towers used to be Ground Zero. I think that also took something away from it. Anyway, Last Christmas. Oh, I do like Last Christmas by Wham, but I don't. So this happened. Laura's been doing this thing about Christmas music all month. This game thing where every day there's a different theme and you pick a Christmas song. And today was Last Christmas, covers of Last Christmas that you like. And the truth of the matter is, Last Christmas is one of those songs where Wham did the best version of it that'll ever be made. I love George Michael. I think he's awesome. I love everything the guy did. Okay, Wham was great and George Michael's solo was great. the Faith album was something I asked for Faith for Christmas actually one year. Yeah, I got that album. And of all the albums I got that year, because I remember, I don't know what year was that, like 87, 88, somewhere around there.
Something like that, yeah.
I was in junior high or middle school, as some people call it, but it was junior high where I went.
Junior high where I was from too.
Anyway, that year I asked for a bunch of music, and I got a bunch of tapes, and of all the ones I got, the George Michael Faith album was the only one that I would still listen to today. Most of my taste in music that year was kind of shitty. It was just whatever was on. It was whatever was on MTV. I was just like, yeah, give me that, give me that, give me that, or whatever the kids at school said they liked. I think was some of it. You know, like trying to fit in, trying to be like, oh yeah, the kids like Bon Jovi, I'll get Bon Jovi, whatever.
And then and you're like, I don't like Bon Jovi.
No, it turns out after listening to Slippery When Wet like 3 times, I was like, oh, this is terrible. I don't know why these kids like this shit. But Faith, I will still pull Faith out and listen to that album today, right? That is a solid fucking album. It's got some good stuff on it. Father Figure, I Want Your Sex. Oh my God, Kissing a Fool. That's like a fucking like Frank Sinatra song right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some good stuff on that album. Anyway, so I absolutely adore George Michael, and therefore, Last Christmas is it's probably my top 10 of good Christmas songs. Okay, I just love it, and therefore, I don't really love covers of it because I think that the Wham version is the best version that was ever made. And Laura today, her theme was a cover of Last Christmas, and the only thing I could find that I could tolerate was somebody did one with a dog barking all the way through it. And because I love the dogs barking for Christmas thing. Like this was also on the Dr. Demento album, but there was the barking dogs doing Jingle Bells, which is the only thing that makes,
I remember that.
The only thing that makes Jingle Bells a tolerable song. Let's be honest. is your dogs bark all the way through it, right?
Right. Right. No, I have a very different opinion of covers. Some covers are better than others, clearly, but I don't look at it as they're trying to beat or top the original. I think that, especially with Christmas music, because Christmas music is a category all its own. Maybe if you're doing like some other cover, you might be trying that. But Christmas music, that I think it's the artists enjoy the song and they want to perform it, so they perform it, and so that's why I like covers for Christmas.
Okay, I mean, I guess we can kind of do that. Although to that degree, it annoys me because like country artists, I think there's like a law when you sign the contract, when you're a country artist and you get signed to the record label, like there's at least there's a Christmas album in your contract. I think there must be. Like, it doesn't happen to rock artists, but every country artist has to put out a Christmas album. I think that the bylaws should also say you have to write at least 3 original songs about Christmas for that. No more chestnuts, no shitty version of Blue Christmas or Last Christmas. Just do your own damn thing. If it's important for you to put out a Christmas album, I mean, yeah, you can put a couple of traditionals on there. Oh man, if I got signed as a country artist, I would make them so mad because I would pick the weirdest shit. I do O Tannenbaum. I do O Tannenbaum in German. Okay, that'd be one of my
right as a country hit.
Yeah, the O Tannenbaum. Wie bitte ist ein Bruna?
Exactly. I think that the country crooner with just you and a guitar and O Tannenbaum would be. I think it would be an instant classic, frankly.
But speaking of country songs that I like, Christmas songs, so Robert Earl King's "Merry Christmas from the Family" is a modern song, right? Am I right? Everybody knows that one. It's a great song,
right? Amy's got a long list. I'm with her on a lot of these.
"Alien for Christmas" by Fountains of Wayne. Hey, I got a funny aside about Fountains of Wayne. So the bass player, or the ex-bass player for Fountains of Wayne, actually lives here in Saluda, North Carolina. And he was sitting right over there at the bar last night.
Nice. Did you give him his your condolences for the loss of his bandmate Adam Schlesinger to COVID-19 in March?
That was ages ago, and I didn't see him.
It was March. I know this year has lasted about 75 years, but it was literally March.
I have not said that to him, no, because I didn't see him for several months. Like, he's in here a lot when the place is busy, but we were actually closed in March, I want to say. So I didn't see him for a while when that happened, and I don't know, anyway, it didn't come up.
No. I am clearly a Fountains of Wayne fan for a different reason, because Adam Schlesinger was Rachel Bloom's writing partner on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. So there's a lot of there's a lot of Fountains of Wayne in the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend soundtrack.
Well, and to be fair, Adam Schlesinger kind of wrote everything like he was writing a musical also. Like, even the Fountains of Wayne songs, they have that cleverness. I don't know if he ever wrote a Christmas song, but if he did, I bet you it's a good, she just pointed
out.
He
wrote Alien for Christmas.
Okay. I'm going to say I haven't heard it, but I already like it because I'm sure he wrote a good tune because he was a good writer. Also, speaking of, he wasn't just in Fountains of Wayne. He was also in a super group called Tinted Windows with Dave Eha from Smashing Pumpkins and one of the Hanson brothers and the drummer from Cheap Trick, which was a hell. They put out one album, but it was a solid fucking album. Okay.
Also, I have to say that is quite the super group. Like, I remember hair band super groups where you were pretty, like, you knew it was Ted Nugent. It was the guy from Tommy Shaw. It was like you knew those ones, right?
Right.
But Hanson, Fountains of Wayne, Cheap Trick. I mean, and Smashing Pumpkins. That's a motley crew. That's the definition of a motley crew.
It was crazy, but yeah. And I think I want to say that was Eha's idea to include Hanson, maybe. Like, I don't know. I think they were friends to start with or something. Like, they had met each other in a bar somewhere and kind of bounced the idea off each other. And then, we're like, oh, hey, who should we get? And they were like, well, we need a songwriter. And they were like, oh, the guy from Fountains of Wayne, and then they got, I know Bunny Carlos from Cheap Trick was the last pick in that because they were like, you know what, we want a drummer. They said we want a drummer who sounds like Bunny Carlos from Cheap Trick. And then somebody was like, why don't we call Bunny Carlos from Cheap Trick and see what he's doing? And he was like, yeah, I'm down.
I mean, why not? What else was he doing? I'm all for that. So do you have any other favorite Christmas songs that you must hear for the...
My must hear. Oh, shoot! I meant to open my Spotify and find my playlist.
That's literally what I did. I have my Spotify open so I can. And mind you, my Spotify playlist, which is called My Favorite Christmas Stuff, it is 7 hours of Christmas music. So.
Holy moly! Mine is only 2 hours and 5 minutes, so I only like that many Christmas songs. Let's see. I've already mentioned most. Let me see. Hold on. How far I got to go down to find something new? Feliz Navidad. I like that one.
Me too. Big fan.
By Jose Feliciano. Not any. And then Donde Está Santa Claus by Augie Arias, which Cheech and Chong make a reference to at the beginning of Santa Claus and His Old Lady. When he says, Mama, Masita, donde está Santa Claus, the battle with the one he needs, he coming, anyway. Little Saint Nick by Beach Boys. That's kind of an honorable mention. I don't love it, but I do hear it. And I'm with you
on that. I don't love it, but I don't turn it off if I hear it.
Here's one me and you can both agree on. Mele Kaliki Maka.
But what version?
Bing Crosby.
Because I'll listen to any version. Casey Musgraves has a version. The Monkees have a version.
Bing Crosby, that's my thing. It's the first version, I think, probably, right?
It is. Yeah, it was the first. He didn't write it, obviously, but it was I just actually read about the history of it because the songwriter, I can't remember his name, was working in Hawaii, and somebody he wasn't even, I mean, he was a songwriter, but he wasn't professionally a songwriter, and somebody in his office said, why aren't there any Hawaiian Christmas carols? There are songs translated into Hawaiian, like hymns and things, but there's no original tune. And he's like, all right. And he made that happen.
Yeah, good for him. We were talking the other day about how weird it must be because half the Christmas songs are not actually Christmas songs, but they're seasonal songs about wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
And how weird it must be to celebrate Christmas in the Southern Hemisphere where it is not wintertime. It is, in fact, summertime. And I think Melikalike Maka is perhaps a take on that, too, because he talks about how on Christmas Day it's green and sunny.
Right.
You know, so it's different than, you know, your white Christmas or whatever.
Exactly.
Although having grown up in South Carolina, I mean, the odds of a white Christmas were very slim. It was oftentimes 90 degrees on Christmas Day where I grew up. But it was still wintertime. Here's the funny part. It could have been winter last week, and it might be winter again next week, but we might have a weird warm snap on Christmas Day.
Right, exactly. So like I said, you have more on your list? You haven't gotten to the end?
I have a few more to get to. Sorry. River by Joni Mitchell.
Oh,
nice.
I'm a huge fan of that.
Also 2,000 Miles by the Pretenders. Some more re-entries. The Inadvertent Christmas Song by Swearing at Motorists. The Xmas Curtain by My Morning Jacket. Let's see. Going back a bit to the 1980s. Actually, this one I do like the cover of. I know it's a Louis Armstrong song, but I like the cover of it by Buster Poindexter, who was also David Johansen of the New York Dolls. The song is called "Is That You, Santa Claus?" And it's about a paranoid fellow who's like worrying about who's knocking on his door. Oh, speaking of that,
it's fair.
Yeah. Oh, and then I like Ray Charles's what's it called? Santa Claus Is Watching You, which also sounds kind of paranoid.
Yeah, but I mean, Santa Claus can evoke paranoia because, I mean, it's creepy knowing that some dude is probably going to break into your house on Christmas Eve.
Hey, I saw a meme the other day that said if Santa Claus knows when you're naughty or nice, then he knew Rudolph was being bullied.
I know, I saw that.
And he did nothing about it.
Right, in which case Santa's just a fucking asshole. Like, yeah, I mean, come on, Santa. You don't need to teach the kid that was bullied a lesson. Like that's some bullshit, old school. I don't know. Anyway, if I went through my entire list, we would be here forever. So I just want to hit some highlights.
Go ahead.
Christmas Time, Don't Let the Bells End by The Darkness, a classic. Annie Lennox's version of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, but Annie Lennox is one of those artists for me who could sing, like she could open the phone book and sing, and I'd be fine with that. Fruitcake by the Superions, a classic favorite, and I am pretty sure you could actually make a recipe for fruitcake just listening to the song lyrics.
Speaking of, by the way, I'm one of the people who actually likes the much maligned fruitcake. I actually do like to have at least one slice of fruitcake during the holiday season.
I do not, but you can have it. You can have my share if you want. All right, we didn't mention this, but I think it deserves a mention. Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues.
Oh, yes. I was thinking of that while you were saying the last thing. I was like, oh, shit, we forgot the Pogues. Everybody loves that song. And that one's not really melancholy as much as it's like, I don't know what the hell that is. It's belligerent, right? Like
it's a little angry, yeah. But it's angry in the way that the Pogues were angry. Like it's just a classic Shane MacGowan song. Like that's just how he writes music. So
right.
So here's one that falls into the category of might not have been written to be a Christmas song, but is a melancholy song about Christmas. Is Jim Croce's "It Doesn't Have to Be That Way." It's a melancholy song. It mentions Christmas, but I don't think he wrote it with the intention of being a Christmas song. Like to have, but now it only gets radio play at Christmas. It's just a great song.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. I'll have to check it out.
Oh yeah, you should definitely check it out. It's one of my favorite. Hard Candy Christmas, of course, we mentioned. I'm just going to scroll real fast, see if anything else catches my eye, because literally I could listen to all of this a lot. And my personal favorite version of Little Drummer Boy was a live version by Tori Amos in the 90s.
Oh, no.
But I am a Tori girl. I'm a Tori girl. I can't help it.
Me and David Bowie. Peace on earth.
I like that version, but the Tori version can make me cry. Like, I will just burst into tears listening to the Tori version. Oh, and there's a brand new song that I want everybody to check out. It's not brand new. I guess it came out a couple years ago, but it's a country artist, and it's just getting some internet sharing play now. A country artist named Aaron Lacombe, and the song is called Uncle Carl. And I just heard it the other day for the first time, and I literally can't get enough of it.
Okay.
All right. So those are some of my favorites, but which leads us to, because there's some interesting crossover into this category, worst or least favorite Christmas songs.
Okay. So you know how everybody how that people play that Whamageddon game because they think that like hearing Last Christmas by Wham is like the worst thing ever or some shit. So I actually think Last Christmas, I said it was in my top 10 of good Christmas songs, and I like to hear it. And I don't play Whamageddon because I feel like it's disrespectful to a very good Christmas song.
See, I have a very different opinion about that. It's just a fun game. Plus, a lot of people do not like that song.
I felt like it started like goofing on a song that a lot of people are like tired of hearing.
Well, the truth is, for a lot of people, they are tired of hearing it. But I don't hate the song. But I still play Whamageddon.
No, I understand it to the same degree because for me, my Whamageddon is I get Mannheim steamrolled.
I think that actually would be a fair holiday game right there. I've been Mannheim steamrolled. I think you can start that one.
And you know what's about equal to that is hearing anything by the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. It's the same shit, honestly. It's like this dumb prog rock version of your least favorite Christmas songs.
I admit I am not a huge fan of Mannheim Steamroller or Trans-Siberian Orchestra for that reason. Like, yeah, I like prog rock, but yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'll turn that off. I'll probably turn that off.
I feel that shit immediately. My wife actually likes it, which is that means I get steamrolled quite often because it's what she likes to hear that stuff. And I'm like, this stuff. Oh my God, Anyway, so that's one of my things that I really hate, but it's not the worst. The worst offenders, in my opinion, the worst offenders on earth, former Beatles who did Christmas songs. Those are the shittiest Christmas songs ever written.
All right, so I actually like both of the songs that I believe you're referring to.
The war wasn't even over. The war is never over.
That's part of the reason he wrote it.
War is not over. It's always going. And I don't know. I hate that song. It just goes on and on.
It's not one of my favorites, but I don't hate that song. But I will tell you, because the other song I know that you're referencing is Wonderful Christmas Time. And yeah, I know you dislike it. But I shared the meme on our Instagram the other day. There's a meme that puts it in new light.
I see, paganism or whatever. Yeah,
it's practicing witchcraft because the lyrics are so. Actually, let me pull it up because it is too funny not to mention. It literally changed my idea of this song, which I agree it wasn't one of my very favorites, but I didn't hate it. Like I wouldn't turn it off.
I think
maybe after the different time.
To me, it's something about the instrumentation of it that makes it hateable to me. It's honestly, it's not the song. It's just the he's got that keyboard with the echo on it, so it's like wham, 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 and I'm just like, oh my God, not this shit again. Like I don't want to hear it. Oh God, it gets stuck in your head. You'll hear it all day, like
that's
as
true.
An earworm.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. So, and I agree, but that was also just Wings. Like Wings was not a particularly good band.
No.
Yeah, Paul McCartney's Wonderful Christmas Time is about friends practicing witchcraft, but then someone walks in and they have to suddenly play it cool. As it goes, the moon is right, the spirit's up, we're here tonight, and that's enough. somebody walks in, simply having a wonderful Christmas time. I think that's exactly what's happening there. I can just see a coven of witches all gathered around a cauldron, and then somebody comes in and they're like, "Oh, we're just celebrating Christmas.
Play it cool. Play it cool." Hey, speaking to that end, I heard a song on the way home tonight. Dar Williams. It's called the Christians and the Pagans.
That is one of my all-time favorite songs. It's actually coming up on my Christmas countdown list in a few days.
Oh, okay, very good. Well, so anyway, I heard that today, and I was like, well, that's interesting. And I figured you knew it, but
it was one of the songs that kind of got me through the early '90s, because I was just starting to celebrate Yule instead of Christmas, and though I still celebrated Christmas in a secular sense. And that song was just about unity and love, and everybody loves each other. So I was totally fine with it. I love that song.
How I justify the fact that I'm an atheist and also celebrate Christmas is because I don't feel like, first off, because Christmas is sort of just a grabbing of, it grabbed a handful of pagan holidays and kind of wrapped them up into one thing. It's got a lot of tradition from a lot of things. So to me, I feel like Christians don't own Christmas because they stole it anyway. And then I'm like, and it's so commercialized and it's so blatantly in everybody's face that therefore there's no harm in secular celebration of Christmas. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
So
exactly.
That's how I reconcile it too.
Like psychologically, we just need some goddamn Christmas. The days are short. We all have seasonal affective disorder. We're all tired of it. We just need some twinkle lights and presents and food to make us happy.
Yeah.
Do you have any other hated songs?
Oh, the hated ones. I think we all agree this is the worst song ever. Whether you, because I know people like love or hate the Beatles or whatever, and so those songs were up for contention. Okay, but there was a song from the 1980s, and it was done for a charity that turned out to give all the money to African warlords instead of actual charity. And that song also is a very problematic. If you listen to the lyrics, it's got this like, I'm a white guy who doesn't know jack shit about Africa, so I'm going to write these lyrics. And it says, this is the line that kills me. The only water flowing is the bitter sting of tears.
Yeah.
That's sung by Bono, of course, the white savior of
that particular lyric. Yes, because it was recorded by, like a We Are the World style, all British artists kind of situation. So yes, of course it is. Do They Know It's Christmas? Which BT Dubs folks, yes they do, because a lot of Africa is very Christian. But second of all,
what they were trying to raise money for specifically is about half Christian and half Jewish, I think. Right? Like
and there's a lot of Islam in that part of the country or part of the continent. But so it was written by Bob Geldof, who was of Boomtown Rats and did a bunch of other things. Today, Bob Geldof has repeatedly said he is embarrassed by that song. He wished he had not written that song. It's a hugely problematic song. Please don't play that song anymore. Please just stop.
So as I understand, it's a little bit of airplay here, but as I understand it, they play the shit out of it in the UK this time of year because it was a big deal when it came out. And, so it kind of stuck. And I will say I've heard it twice. Like I heard it the other day. I was doing some shopping and I was somewhere and I heard it and I was like, and so I kind of hate it. Like it's so bad that it's good.
Yeah, no, I will. If I hear it, I will turn it up and sing along. But I realize what I'm doing. I'm like, I realize this is a problem, but I know all these lyrics, and God damn it, my brain space is not going to be taken up by this.
Yeah, no. So to me, it's like, you sort of like it's like hate watching Mystery Science Theater 3000 type bad movies. It's like it's the Christmas song that's so shitty you can almost enjoy it.
Yeah. I enjoy it more knowing that Bob Geldof is self-aware. Like, if he were still to this day being like, yes, we came in and saved the Africans, like, then I would be like, come on. But the fact that he honestly knows he messed up pretty bad with that song. Like, it makes it a little more enjoyable again. I mean, enjoyable in quotes. I mean, it's a problematic song, but I can listen to it without absolute hatred in my heart. So
that's how it goes. And what they say about the road to hell.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right, especially with that song.
That's a pure case right there.
Just real quick, I have to tell you. Yes. So, some of the songs on your favorite song list are absolutely on my universally hated least favorite song list. And I will tell you why.
Okay.
All right. The world is very different when you work in retail during the holidays in the early 90s. Very different. So, there are 3 songs in particular that I swear if I hear one more time in my entire life, I will go postal. And those are the Chipmunks Christmas song, I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas, and All I Want for Christmas are my two front teeth.
No, I think we can. The two front teeth is awful. That's a terrible. Like, it's not even catchy. It's not even a good song.
Those 3 songs in my mind are inextricably linked. Is that the word I'm looking for? They're linked forever because I was standing in the Montgomery Ward drapery department at Christmas time, and mind you, the rest of the department store was very busy, but nobody buys fucking draperies during the holidays. So I was standing there by myself, just listening to the same 7 tracks over and over again. And it's not even as good as like listening to the radio station, because back in the 90s and the 80s, department stores made their own mixes. So they had advertisements and things throughout it. So like that would be dotted with some sort of like catchy, come on down to Electric Avenue and buy yourself a VCR. Like that's all I hear in my brain when I hear those 3 songs.
That's fair. I mean, you got to try something awful, and that makes sense. Thankfully, I never really worked retail. I worked food service for a hot minute in the early 90s. And then, that was my only foray really into public facing jobs. I mostly have had, behind the scenes jobs since then, and I haven't had to put up with a lot of this shit, thankfully.
Right. And I'll tell you, during Christmas time, because I worked like when I was on break from college, so I was only there at Christmas in the summer. So, or it's like spring break. But I remember one Christmas, I'm in the drapery department. The entire department is immaculate because I'm literally all alone and nobody's buying anything. And I was sitting behind the counter just twiddling my thumbs. I have no idea what I was doing. And some manager, not even my manager, walked up and was like, "You really need to look busy." And I'm like, "What the hell do you want me to do? No one's coming in here." I'm so bored. Just close the drapery department.
Shuffle some things around, would you? Look like you're doing a thing.
I did. Oh, I so did that. I would just go stand in an aisle and like push things, just touch them so someone looked like I was moving stuff. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we have an audience question. What's your opinion on Grandma got run over by a reindeer?
I like it, although it is a little bit, it's kind of played out, but like, as I said earlier, I'm tired of Christmas at Ground Zero. I can still hear Grandma twice a year and be okay with it. I do. There's a line or two in it I do love. For some reason, I don't know why, but that part it's about the way that Dr. Elmo sings. Okay, first off, he goes, "Now the goose is on the table."
Yeah.
The pudding made of fig, and the blue and silver candles that would just match the hair on Grandma's wig. That's my favorite part.
I do like they match. Yeah, they match. That's a good visual. That's good song. That's good storytelling right there. Like,
yeah,
that's the kind of thing you hope for, where you're like, the candles match Grandma's hair. That's what you want. That's how you tell a good story. Whether it ends up being a good story in the end, I don't know, but that's at least the little details you want.
It's the little details that make the story. It's like Stephen King when he writes. It's the little details really that get you. Yeah.
Speaking of which, Stephen King wants to write me a Christmas Carol, and I will listen to the shit out of that.
Oh yeah, that'll be interesting.
That'll be a good carol.
Red Christmas, and then I'll like it.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Exactly right. I also like Christmas songs that mention place. So like if it were like Red Christmas in Maine, like just throw it all in there. Like there's a grisly murder in a house in Bangor or something, like, or in Derry. Like I could get behind that.
So you need to check out one of the ones I mentioned was Inadvertent Christmas Song by Swearing at Motorists. And it starts out Christmas Eve in Birmingham. Dayton's on the phone. So here's the deal. Dave Doman, who's the brains behind Swearing at Motorists, at the time he was living in Dayton, Ohio. That's where he's from. And Dayton, Ohio, I think is like the perfect spot in the U.S. to be a touring band from because you can drive 8 hours to damn near any place. Okay. And that's what he did. He was the hardest fucking working man in show business for a while. But I think he had a tendency sometimes to like, he'd miss somebody back in Dayton and he was just like, okay, we're just going to drive this fucking van back to Dayton tonight. And that's what the song is about, being in Birmingham, I presume Alabama, on Christmas Eve and deciding, fuck it, I'm going back to Dayton tonight to meet up with somebody who I want to see. It's a cool song to me. And I don't think he writes a lot of his songs are all autobiographical, and I don't think he intended for this song to be a song about Christmas, which is why it's called Inadvertent Christmas Song.
Right, exactly.
But I love it. A lot of his songs are about life on the road and the hardships of trying to maintain relationships while being on the road, which may not be relatable to anybody who's never been in a band. I don't know. But if you've ever been away from somebody and missed somebody, I guess that's like if you're a truck driver or something. I don't know. Like I guess it would still.
Sure.
I don't know. Anyway, so he lives in Frankfurt, Germany now, and he misses people from Dayton all the time, I'm sure now.
Right, but he can't just drive there in a night. So I thought of something I should have mentioned for our station break, and I just want to mention it real quick here. And as an aside, because we're getting close to the end of the show, Bill and me, I think we should post our personal Spotify music lists to this thread after the show sometime, so people can listen to our weird taste in music if they want to. But absolutely. Speaking of weird taste in music, and I have attempted to get Bill to listen to this before, but it's weird. On Christmas Eve, on Princeton's Christmas radio, or Princeton's college radio station, a DJ by the name of John Solomon does a 25-hour Christmas music marathon. But it is not your mama's Christmas music marathon. It is the weirdest shit. And he has been doing this for like 30 years. So it's accumulated weirder and weirder shit. And now there's stuff that's been written, composed, produced just for the show that people will send to the show because they know it's weird and they want it to be played. And it is our Christmas Eve tradition because it starts, I think, 5 o'clock on Christmas Eve and goes until 6 o'clock the next day, something like that. And we always stay up late at night and we bake and we listen to this weird ass show. So we're always listening to the 11 to 1 o'clock hour. And there are some things that happen in the 11 to 1 o'clock hour that it's not Christmas to me unless I hear, because we listen to this thing all the time. There's a story they play every year at midnight that the first couple times I heard it, I was like, this is the stupidest story ever. Why am I listening to this? And now I can't, it's not Christmas if I don't hear it. Like, I want to hear this story. And then at 12:34 in the morning, they start an all Ramones set because 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's all Ramones Christmas. They start out with, I Don't Want to Fight Tonight. And then they play like weird Christmas Ramones parodies. And it's freaking hilarious. So if you're looking for something weird to do on Christmas Eve, tune in to, I can't remember the actual station, but it's Princeton's college radio station, or you can search the John Solomon 25-hour Christmas marathon. and you will find it. You can watch it, so you can listen to it streaming. You can also keep up with it online because he'll post the playlist as he goes, so you know what you're listening to.
So we'll post the link to that also, is what you're saying, right?
It'll be yes, we will. Okay, I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
All right. But we are getting close to the end, and I do have a mailbag question, Bill.
Okay.
All right. The mailbag question this week is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
To me, no. I don't watch it. I've only got like 4 or 5 Christmas movies I have to watch, and Die Hard's not one of them. I feel like if you want to be edgy and push something that's like a violent action flick that's a Christmas movie, I say Batman Returns is your movie. It's clearly got a lot of Christmas in it. It's got snow and things. Die Hard, I mean, I know it takes place at Christmas, but it's not. There's no snow, and because it's in LA, and I don't know. I mean, I don't care about. I don't like that movie, so I don't. But if you want to think it's a Christmas movie, that's on you. Fine, yeah, watch it. To me,
exactly.
To me, it's not. I don't care. I don't know. I don't have a dog in that fight, I guess.
No, I'm with you. I do not either. I don't really like the movie. I don't care one way or the other. It is a movie that takes place at Christmas. So by that criteria, I suppose it's a Christmas movie. And if people want to watch it for Christmas, they watch it for Christmas. Sure. It's not on my list, but and I would recommend, if like Batman, I would recommend Gremlins if you want a non-Christmas movie.
Yes. Gremlins, Batman, Return, or Edward Scissorhands. Those are your edgy Christmas movies.
That's a good choice. All right. So do you have things that are extra today?
I do. Happy Honda Days to everyone out there, or Toyotathon if that's what you celebrate. No, my beef is Christmas marketing is kind of stupid. It's like they like to point out to you that there's a Christmas going on as if you don't know. Boo, and I mentioned this I think a couple weeks ago in a general gripe about the holidays, but the worst thing to me is car ads on the radio. I drive back and forth to work. I listen to the actual radio, unlike a lot of people who now listen to just Spotify or whatever. I'm subjected to these dumb versions of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," but like with the car ad interjected into it somehow. Like "'Twas the night before Christmas," and all anybody wanted was a new Kia. And I hate that.
Exactly. Yes.
I hate that shit. It's terrible. I hate having to listen to it every year. It's the same shit, and you're just like, oh my god. Like, I know it's Christmas time, and I don't care. I think car advertisements is probably the worst of it. Also, the ones where they do the thing where and I think Saturday Night Live even made fun of this, where some dude shows up with a gift car on the front lawn, right. Like, hey, I made a huge expense that I should have talked to you about because this is family finances. But here it is with a phone on top. Like, who can afford that shit? Nobody surprises anybody with a damn car. I bought a car a month ago, and I was on the phone 7 times with my wife during the process.
Right. And I will tell you, I don't like car. I mean, car commercials are ridiculous, but the ones that actually make me genuinely angry are the jewelry commercials. Like, some of them are so awful. Like, there was one a few years ago where there was like, the husband gave the wife a gift when she was holding a newborn baby. And she's like, now that we're finally a family, I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. You were a goddamn family before you had the kid. Yeah. What kind of junk is that? Get out of here.
Also, my hands are fucking full. I can't take that right now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want jewelry. I want diapers. Jesus Christ, man.
We don't have money for that shit.
We don't have money for that. All right, that's it. I think we're done. So, Bill, can you take us away?
Yes, this show is engineered and produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions of Bill are those of his and his alone, except for the ones that Laura agrees with. Obviously, not most of this music. And the ones for Laura are hers and hers alone about this music mostly. Anyway, be sure to like and subscribe and follow us and all that, depending on what platform you're watching us on. Leave a comment, leave a question. We'll get back to you, and we'll see you next week. Happy holidays. Happy Honda days.
We'll see you next week for our holiday extravaganza. Enjoy and happy holidays, everybody.
Honda days.